The gospel of Jesus Christ doesn't matter to you, what about our father Abraham? What about when he said to Lot, take the land you want, Lot, and I'll take the leftover? And then when he turned around, the father looked down on Abraham's life and said, look to the north and the south and the east and the west. Look as far as you can, it's all yours. Why do you think God did that? So he could walk around arrogantly and say, this is my land? That's not what Abraham did. He walked around submissively, and every place he placed his foot that God said, this is your land, Abraham turned around and said, we got to build an altar now and give it back to the Father. Let's build an altar, call in the name of the Lord. This is your land, God. We're playing games, we're playing politics, and we're playing religion. And it's BS to the heavenlies. And it means nothing in the earth because we are predictable and we are not beautiful. My children are 5 and 3. I do not want them to grow up with a bunch of know-it-all people that run around with weaponry and call it God's provision. I don't want them to grow up learning that their father is some know-it-all. That's not what they need. They need to see their father on his knees trying to figure out, God, which way are you blowing? Why does this person want to be divided from me, and what do you want me to do? Do you want me to fight him, or do you want me to release him? Don't settle for what's predictable that even a person in the world would do. We fight for clans and what is our own. Man, God says, man, even the world loves their own. Will you love your enemy? Will you find me in the midst of what you're afraid of? God wants to make us an unpredictable people. This song says this. It says, turn down the radio, I want to hear. Turn down the voices hurting my ears. There's a moment getting away. And there's something I want to say. Most of us, we need to turn down the radio of even religion right now. And we need to open up the Word. And we need to take it for face value. And we need to begin to accept the word of the Lord over our lives. And stop listening for man to please us and to tell us. You know, we actually, and it gets really bad because we'll find the doctrine that suits our sin. And God's just saying, he's saying, I want you just to take my word for what it is. And I want you to see that ways are more important than your deeds. Turn down the radio, I want to hear. Turn down the voices hurting my ears. There's a moment getting away, and there's something I want to say. Why are those voices hurting your ears? Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that we need to be a generation that can hear the voice of the Father instead of the voice of man? Well, look at the life of Jesus. He heard the voice of the Father, but he was trained and he knew how to hear the voice of the Father. He taught his disciples to hear the voice of the Father and not the voice of man. This is why when Peter said to him, you don't have to give up your life. He said, get behind me, Satan. It wasn't because Peter was Satan. It was because he was listening to the mindset of the world to save your life. Jesus says, get behind me. Listen, this is unpredictable nature. Jesus came in an unpredictable way. He defeated the enemy and mocked him. He came as poverty instead of richness. Oh man, now there's this sweeping thing in the church where we all want to be rich. What's so interesting is it's all paupers that are doing that. Why do you think? Because they don't know the reality of God's kingdom. Why would you ever think that Jesus came to this earth so you could have $1? Why would you ever think that his blessing is wrapped up in paper? Why would we trade the truth of God for a lie? If there is no other explanation for that than trading the truth of God for a lie. Do you know how many $30 million people I've met that are committing suicide? Wait a second, you just taught our children that they're blessed. You know how many people that drive really nice cars are killing themselves? Tonight, somebody that drives a beautiful car will kill themselves. But wait a second, we just taught our children that they're blessed. And why do you think our children aren't listening to the church anymore? Because we're liars, and we're fools, and we're not teaching the truth. And you know what? If it's all about money, well, then I don't have to do all the rules either. If that's what it means to live a blessed life, is that we all just get a bunch of money, and we live like hypocrites? But what about the Mother Teresas of the world? What about the Billy Grahams? What about the Johnny Cashes? They're rare. To find those people that are satisfied. They're like your grandma. Now what have we done? We've traded, which is nice that this church at least has the word up here instead of a globe. Most churches now have a globe. As if that's the vision of the church, is the world. We exchanged the cross, remember, and the word. When I grew up, it was the cross. There's no crosses anymore in the church. It's a big world. And meanwhile, God's saying, oh, if you could just be satisfied with me and not be running after man. You could really love the ones I've called you to love. You'd take the time that it takes to love them because they're not a commodity to you. So Lord, set us free to worship you and to be unpredictable. Set us free to be beautiful. Turn down the radio, I want to hear. Turn down the voices hurting my ears. There's a moment getting away and there's something I want to say. Roll down the window of each person, their life here. Roll down the window and this is what you'll hear. The sound of a stranger's voice in your ear. Is it fear that has kept you away from the song in the wind and the waves saying we can be friends if you want to? The Lord's saying to you tonight, we can be friends if you want. You can run with me if you want. You can go the way of unpredictability. Or you can just go the predictable way of the world. It's really your choice. Beautiful people. Beautiful music. Memories and years of beautiful laughter and beautiful tears. It's a beautiful morning today with the wind blowing every which way. Listen to this. Beautiful people forgive and forget. Every time I meet beautiful people, I met some today, and I said it to them. Every time I meet beautiful people, it's something in their eyes. A lot of times. Beautiful people forgive and forget. And you know what I'm talking about? Their eyes look like children who haven't lost yet. And trust is the strength of their love that disarms all the powers that separate us. I'm going to say that again to you. Beautiful people forgive and forget. Their eyes look like children who haven't lost yet. And trust is the strength of their love. And it disarms the powers that separate us. God's raising up a beautiful people in Lakeland, a worshiping people, a people undivided, a people that are not after ideas or doctrines or men, but are truly after God, are after His truth, because they know that's what really sets them free. So just raise your hands to heaven and I pray over you. Tonight, many of you